Brain Gain is sponsored by Southwoods Health, Farmers National Bank, Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC, and the Mahoning Valley Manufacturers Coalition.
So hello, welcome to Brain Gain Navigators. I am your host, Jeremy Gurski. I am content manager with the Business Journal. And today we're going to be exploring manufacturing careers. Our featured tour is of Hynes Industries in Youngstown, which manufactures custom metal products. And for our panel today, we are pleased to welcome President and CEO Rick Organ and Plant Manager Jeremy Gurski. Good afternoon, guys. We can see you.
Good afternoon. How are you, Jeremy?
Hanging in there, doing all right. So a little bit later, you'll all hear from Rick and Jeremy, and they will be ready to answer any questions you have. So be thinking about what you want to ask. But for right now, I'm going to play a video of our visit to Hynes Industries, where we spoke with some of the workers there about how they got into manufacturing and what their day is like.
I'm Jeremy Gurski, the plant manager at Hynes Industries in Youngstown. We're in our wire department in Hendricks Road. This is one of our edging mills. We have coils that go up. They get run through a set of edging rolls, just put a nice edge on it, cut to length, and then package to our finished customer.
I'm actually a third generation steel worker. My grandfather actually worked for this company, and my father also worked for this company for 30 years.
A lot of math skills go to this. We're measuring the width of the steel, the gauge of the steel, a lot of visual inspection. Tape measures, calipers, micrometers are used daily here.
I think there's a lot of good skilled jobs out there.
Terrence behind me is bundling a finished product for a job for a customer.
I was actually in the medical field, and I've never done anything like this. I saw the place and I wanted to do it, and it was amazing work. A lot of things that we make, you don't know that they're in everyday life. Do a lot of things for truck trailers, a lot of different things. You never know what things are made out of.
Operators here at Hynes, they'll set up the jobs, they'll run the jobs, and then they'll band. We have material handlers that'll come in, take that bundle away. The operator will set the mill up for the next bundle, and then we're off and running. So right now, Linda is setting up a punch press.
Like today, I'm putting a die in. Sometimes I run a mill. So it changes every day, which is good. I like that.
What that die will do is it'll serve as a secondary punching operation. It'll put holes in parts that have already been roll formed.
The benefit package alone is the reason I've been here almost 25 years.
This mill here, we have a large payoff where we put our reel up. Goes through a leveling unit that straightens the steel before it goes into a welder.
Well, when GM Lordstown closed down, I worked for a supply company called Magna Seating, and when I got laid off, I came here, applied on Indeed, and I got a job here, and it's been a little over 2 years now.
Once we weld it, we bring the material through, and we're running finished product.
A lot of opportunity for growth here. I started out as a helper, now I'm an operator, so there's still more room to grow and move on just from the operator position as well. This facility in Hynes Industries, I think, is a great opportunity for somebody to support a family. It's done it for my family for 70 years.
Most rewarding part of the job is probably gaining the knowledge that I can possibly take somewhere else or move up in the company, because there's plenty of opportunity to move up.
Hynes Industries is a great place to work. The benefits are second to none for this area. The pay's good.
We have 2 guys who went from the floor. They're going into maintenance. They go to school. You can also go in the machine shop. You can learn how to be a machinist. There's a lot of skills and trades that you can learn here.
There are a world of opportunities out there if somebody's willing to work.
That was the world premiere of the Hynes Industries Navigators Tour video.
That was a great video. That's the first time I've seen it. Thank you very much.
Turned out nice, didn't it?
Sure did. Sure did. Thank you.
Right. I'm glad to see both Rick and Jeremy are here. They're ready to answer some questions. So for all the attendees, if you have a question you want to ask Rick or Jeremy, about the manufacturing industry, you can click the raise hand icon down on the Zoom panel, and then I'll be able to let you speak. Or if you want, you can open up that Q&A panel there and type in your question, and I'll make sure that I ask it to Rick and Jeremy. But I have a couple of icebreakers here to kind of get the ball rolling. And I guess, gentlemen, I'll just leave the floor open to you. In your opinion, what are some of the benefits of pursuing a career in manufacturing?
Jeremy, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I know one of the benefits that I got when I was just regular working production and in manufacturing was just satisfaction of, we're making a product, and an end user is going to use that, and it's satisfying. It's nice to know that you're a part of something that is not, it could be a garage door, it could be a rack for solar, it could be, parts for cars, things like that. So things in everyday use. So it's satisfying. And then, it's a hard day's work and you leave feeling satisfied. So that's a big part of it.
The only thing, if I may add to that, I think that in addition, you heard in the video, Linda mention variety. And I think that's certainly one thing that you get here at Hynes specifically, but in general, in manufacturing, each day is a little bit different and throughout the course of the day. So there's a lot of variety, it keeps you interested. I think in addition to that, it's physically as well as mentally challenging. So I think when you leave here at the end of the day, you should feel very satisfied that you produce something that you can relate to and that you've been challenged in a lot of different ways.
Sounds good. Rick, tell us a little bit about how you kind of got into it. What was it about manufacturing that drew you?
I think probably the things that we just talked about. I've been, throughout my career, I started my career as a consultant and frankly had always had the desire to get into operations, to get into production, to get into manufacturing. I grew up in the Valley. I went to Boardman High School a long time ago, left the area and returned about 5 years ago to take over Hynes. But what I find most satisfying is the things that we talked about before. It's certainly wonderful I've run businesses in distribution and supply chain as well, where we weren't producing parts. And I must say, I keep coming back to businesses in which we're producing items that we can touch and feel and see in our everyday life.
How about you, Jeremy? Is that about the same?
It is. I came into manufacturing, just working my way through college, trying to do something. I started working making manufacturing patio doors, and I saw the engineers coming in and just sort of figuring things out. And then I looked at them and I thought I could do that, or I want to do that. And I followed them around, and then my supervisors let me, they gave me a little bit of leeway to work with them and, start the process, not just manufacture the goods. So I've seen all aspects of it, and now plant manager here, that ground floor engagement, really helped me because I learned how to build the products. I learned how important the safety and the machinery was, and then just took that to every level of the manufacturing process. But I really enjoy it. I think it's a good way to interact with people from every level, and then just seeing the products go out the door. You had a hand in it. Very satisfying.
What were you going to college for?
Elementary education.
Okay.
Totally. Exactly what I do here.
You and Linda.
Me and Linda. Yeah. No, and I thought I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a coach and do that. And I'm sure that would have been fun, but I really enjoy what I do now.
So kind of let's touch on that a little bit, because I'm sure there's plenty of students right now who are watching this that are thinking, they're going to be going to college. That's pretty much the most popular path, at least from where parents are concerned. But what was that sort of moment where you realized that even though I'm in college, even though I'm studying education, manufacturing is definitely the way I want to go?
I think I was good at it. I was more hands-on. Wasn't real good in a classroom setting, I think. But just being out there working, I could be productive. I could be, I could excel. It was something that I was good at. So I really, I think I got the satisfaction out of it. So it's I stayed in it, and it was an angle for me to, show what I was good at.
Gotcha. We have a couple of questions here from our participants. The first one, what's most important to you in a production position?
I think Rick says it a lot. Attitude and aptitude. We want to be, we want to be able to learn the stuff, but we want to have a good attitude going in. And then, attendance, making sure that you're engaged enough that you're important to the manufacturing process and that, your attendance is important. So, attitude, aptitude, and just being available, and open for those suggestions and all that. So those two main things, I know Rick was probably going to say those two exact things. So
I was.
Those are key.
Yeah, I talk about that regularly here. In at Hynes or for that case in most manufacturing businesses, and you don't come in with the skills necessary from practical skills that you're going to require in the manufacturing environment. We're going to teach you those. And I always talk about attitude and aptitude. The attitude is like speed in an athlete. If you've got speed, we can teach you the rest. And aptitude, if you're willing to learn and you're willing to let other people teach you and be patient, and as Jeremy said, you're dependable. The soft skills, those are critically important to us. We can teach you all the rest.
Yeah, what about, that's great that you could definitely teach the folks to do the practical skills, but what about just inherent knowledge? What are some of the maybe school subjects that lend themselves to the type of work that you do every single day?
Math to me was the, and it's just regular, it's simple math. It's not, get crazy math where you need to know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's really the main thing. And, you can't really, I guess, teach that here. We can help. But, if I was going to say to take anything out of your school experience, it would be the math.
I would agree with you.
And any comprehension or anything like that, reading and things like that. But the math to me was important.
And the only other thing I would say to that, add to that, Jeremy, if I may, is I believe in addition to that, English skills, communication skills are very important, right? To be able to effectively communicate verbally and in written.
Yeah.
I think that's very important as well.
Okay, great. Another question from our attendees. How has your work experience prepared you for a production job? And I guess that could mean anything from professional work experience to maybe even summer jobs while you're in high school.
Go ahead.
So, I guess I would say, as I mentioned, I grew up in the valley here, and I think probably from age 12, I probably had my first job, and I delivered the Vindicator as a young boy, and then I worked in construction. My father was a general contractor here in Youngstown, and so I worked in the shop throughout my summer months, and then I went on to Sparkle Market and worked at Sparkle Market, and from there, I think that wherever you go and whatever you've done, I think that those experiences teach you responsibility. They teach you, that you need to be at a place on time. They teach you how to respect one another and respect the environment that you're in. And I think, it starts at a very early age, and I was fortunate enough to have those opportunities and then continue to grow with those throughout my career. Jeremy, I'm sure you have a similar story.
Almost the same. I mean, I delivered to Vindicator as well. That was my first, hey, you got to get up on Saturday morning type responsibility that I learned. And then, my father owned a steel business around here in Youngstown, and I worked in there as young as I can remember, picking up banding and sweeping the floor and things like that. And my experience was I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it at all. And then I got, a little bit older, and I realized I like this. It's hands-on. I'm doing something that I look behind me and it's done. So, yeah, I mean, and I've worked in fast food when I was younger and realized I didn't want to do that. So I think my experiences working helped me realize what I like to do and what I don't like to do. And I did like the manufacturing side of it.
Very good. Now, another question from our attendees. Of course, we're all human. Mistakes happen. So when you're out on the floor, when you're on the job, what do you do when you make a mistake or someone else makes a mistake? What's the process when that happens?
Escalate it. Let somebody know. It's that communication at that moment, real time. Let somebody know what happened. Usually in a business, there's a procedure for that, or you have the chain of command where, if it's a quality issue, you get somebody from quality. If it's a safety issue, you get somebody from the safety committee, and you just let somebody know. You don't hold it. The best thing to do is put it out there, get a team of people to come up with a solution, potentially let the customer know there's an issue. But, honesty is the best policy in that case, in any right. Yeah, just let somebody know. And then the more people involved help you get a better solution.
Yeah, I think most importantly, as Jeremy points out here, mistakes happen each and every day. Jeremy and I, I'm sure today, have already made our own mistakes numerous times. The reality is we understand that. Most important to us is how we respond to the mistake. Let's own it. Let's get together. You made it. Someone else likely would have made it had you not made it. There's something flawed in the system that we need to correct, and we have people here to help one another. And that's most importantly, I think maybe we didn't talk about this at the outset, and this is certainly not unique to a manufacturing environment, but the reality is one of the things that makes such an enjoyable job is the opportunity to work with people each and every day, and we know we're here to help one another. We have each other's backs. We go to war for each other each and every day, and that's what gets me up in the morning. I'm sure that's what gets Jeremy up in the morning as well. The last thing I would say, another one of the many things I say around here is, bad news doesn't get better with age. So when something happens that we didn't anticipate, let's immediately identify, let's bring it to people, and let's not, kind of ignore it.
And try to spin it into an opportunity to eliminate that from happening again, or something like it. A near miss, per se, in this world is huge, because it could have happened, and it drove you to a deep dive that maybe stopped it the next time. So, turn it into an opportunity, and communication starts that.
Absolutely. Learning experiences are important in every industry at all levels. Do you guys have a favorite product that you produce? Anything that maybe it was challenging, or just when you were done, you thought, wow, that's really cool?
Well, I don't know if there's a specific for me. I mean, maybe for Rick, but I think it's, for us, it's surprising to me, as in, especially, from the time I started to now, learning what all the products we make do and what they're used for. So I don't know if I have one that's I like better or not, but I find some interesting. We make some breathing tubes for a medical company that go into the breathing application that you would get in the hospital. We make like garage door tracks and things like that. So no, there's some things that are more interesting than others, and definitely when when we get a win, when we get a hard product and we're able to successfully manufacture that and sell it, and the customer liked it, and we get good feedback, I mean, that's awesome, but that's what we're shooting for, to be able to get those hard products made and make the customer happy.
I'll go ahead and piggyback on that last question. Maybe not your most favorite product, but what's been maybe the most challenging project you guys have had there?
We have a project going on right now that is some racking for distribution centers, and the sheer volume that we need to produce has been challenging. Working out the bugs, making sure we hit deadlines, and it's a dedicated mill, meaning the only thing that's going to run on this mill, and it's going to run every day. And we've got to win, and that's what gets me up in the morning, is winning. And this is something we want to win on. So we're winning, but we're having challenges, and we're going to stay on it until we can successfully say that this was a win for us. So hopefully that's maybe the end of this week. I'm not sure, because we're working on it right now.
All right, sounds good. So we talked to a good number of people on your shop floor. Take me through a typical day. From punch in to punch out. What is the typical day of your average shop worker?
Well, right now, we have an information board when they come. They come in, they punch in, they get their temperature taken. With the way COVID has us right now, we have to fall in line with that. We want to make sure everybody's safe. So we come through the door, get your temperature taken, punch in. We have a locker room. They change their clothes so they can get dirty at work and then leave and don't get into a clean car. No worries. But the information board, when they come in, tells them what mill they're going to be working on that day, and they go there. So by 7 o'clock, they usually work 7 to 3. Unless they're working over, at 7 o'clock they're at their mill, and then they'll start running parts. Steel goes through the mill, they package it, band it, material handlers take it away, and they have lunch about noon, get 20 minutes, half hour for lunch, then they hit the second part of their day. So it's mainly, some people run the same mill all day, and then we have some that'll run maybe 2 hours on a mill. We'll finish a project, and they'll go start something else. So, and then, I know Linda was in there saying she liked the variety. She's somebody who's a little different. Works as the janitor. She also works as a mill operator. She can set up the presses. She can run the presses. She's very diverse. So she's very valuable to us. But somebody like that, their day is bouncing. They could be in 5, 6 different spots through the day. So that variety for her is something that she really enjoyed. Now, there's people that would prefer to come in, get on a mill, run their product, and leave without speaking a word. And some people have that ability to do that. But a lot of variety, but mainly they know where they're going when they come in, and they know where they're going to end up. So I think they like that as well.
Okay. About how many hours are folks working in a given week? What do the shifts look like?
In this facility here, we run a 3-shift operation. We have 7 to 3, 3 to 11, or 11 to 7. So they rotate. And right now they're working about 48 hours. So we're doing 6 days, 8 hours a day. We have a setup crew that's who starts the process. They go out and set the mills up before an operator can come run them. And we have them on 10 hours. So they're working 58 hours during the week. But that's about standard right now, and we're getting into our busy season, so there is some overtime out there.
Well, I was going to say, what's the busy season look like?
Very busy, very busy, to say the least. But that's a good place to be.
Gotcha.
Busy is good.
Absolutely. Now, are you guys looking to bring on more hands? Is it getting to the point where you need to hire more people? What kind of job opportunities are there for current job seekers, and then the next generation, the students that we're talking to today?
Sure. There are, first of all, there are plenty of opportunities here. We are, in fact, as Jeremy indicated, we are very busy, and we expect to be not only busy throughout the rest of this quarter, but throughout the rest of the year. And as we look ahead, through our crystal ball, we anticipate the next couple of years to be extremely busy for Hynes, and the result of which is we are actively looking to add production workers here in Youngstown. We also operate a facility in Painesville, Ohio, and Kokomo, Indiana. We're looking to add at those 3 sites as well. We're also looking to bring on board quality technicians, and those will be starting here as well as in Painesville. And then we're also looking at positions within our administrative offices as well. So, we've been very fortunate. We came through quite well through the last 12 to 15 months of challenges brought about as a result of the pandemic, and we are in a very strong position and growing, and as a result, adding positions. So, we're looking to add, and I think maybe, Jeremy, I mentioned this to you when we talked previously. One of the things that we find is, and Brian Shaner, who was one of the gentlemen that you interviewed when you were here, he's the 3rd generation of individual here at Hynes. That by no means is unusual. And we find that there are generations of individuals who are here at Hynes, and we're continuing that. So as we hire, many of the people that we are now hiring come to us primarily as a result of referrals from existing employees. They are, whether they be family members or friends or others, we find that they tend to be a very good source of individuals.
Gotcha. So what can a student do now? This is a question from one of our participants. What can a student do now to prepare for a job in manufacturing? I'll open up the floor to you.
I think it goes back to something that, for some reason, your screen's not working. So if you want to come up and sit by me.
No, I'll try to get it to work here.
Okay. In the meantime, I think it goes back to something Jeremy said before when we talked about, what kind of classes you should be taking. Basic math skills, very important. Basic communication skills, very important. I think in addition to that, anything you can do to have employment elsewhere, to learn what it's like to work in an environment, to show up on time, to be reliable, to be dependable. It's surprising at one level, but at another not very surprising. And when we look at the background of the people that we have here at Hynes, the majority of the people working in our production today did not start their careers in manufacturing. Typically, they come from other industries. Many of them come from service industries and so forth. That was their first jobs. And they learned. They learned about what it meant to have a job, to be on time, to work with other people, to bring a good attitude to work each and every day. That's what you can do to prepare yourself. I think more than anything else is just kind of get yourself prepared with the basics, the fundamentals that are necessary.
And I know a lot of the students that are, some of the students that are watching today might be in the more middle school age range. So not quite at an age to actually go out and get a job just yet. But what about hobbies? Are there things that students can be doing now, young men and women who, maybe just in their free time, to whether it's getting used to working with their hands or doing some of the things that you guys do on a daily basis?
I'm going to let Jeremy, because I think he's a great example of doing just that himself.
Exactly. Just working. I know with my kids myself, I just keep them working. I keep them in the yard. I have chores for them. I know that anybody in the plant that one of their hobbies would be working on cars, things like that. Can you change your own tire if you had to? Those are the more mechanical type, thing. I think they do a little bit better. But just that overall work ethic. I mean, I know there's skills that you want to gain or get better at, but, just not being afraid to work. That's the real important part, as Rick said. We'll train the rest. Someone who's aware and engaged and willing to learn, we can train. As far as skills go, just keep working, keep active, and that's important in the manufacturing field.
Help mom and dad around the
and
house,
stay healthy.
right?
Try to keep yourself healthy.
Right.
It's a really good point.
Okay. One of the folks that we spoke to, he had mentioned, a couple of the folks that we spoke to mentioned that they're interested in the opportunities for promotion within Hynes. What does the average worker's future look like with Hynes Industries as far as climbing up the ladder? Are there many opportunities for promotion?
I'll start it, and then I'll let Rick finish. But yeah, right now, 3 of our supervisors out of 4 have been promoted from within. They worked on the floor as operators or setup people. Probably didn't think when they came here that they would be doing anything close to what they're doing now. So, the opportunities are there. I know here, and I think a lot of places. If I'm on the floor and I'm needing help and I'm an operator and I call my supervisor and he's never done the job, it's hard for him to give me an answer that's a true resource for me. But if he's done the job and he was obviously good enough at that job to make somebody want to promote him up and be the supervisor, he can be a bigger help to me. So that's the mindset that I guess take, that I want someone on the floor, being in charge, who's done the job as much as possible. They can identify issues quicker. They know exactly what people are talking about. They know the struggle. I know that's just the supervisor part, but I know that as far as the organization goes, there's good people, and there's usually a place for them. So I know here we have been promoting from within. That's my take on it. I like to see people grow within the organization, not just come off the street. Although that helps because you get a different perspective. But it's nice to have that next step in the ladder so people know there's somewhere to go.
Yeah, and I think to Jeremy's point, we've made it a point here at Hynes at least to promote from within throughout the organization. Jeremy mentioned our supervisors who came from the floor. Again, their point is they're there to help our operators be successful. We talk a lot about the only thing we care about is to help each person be as successful as they can be. We're here to help you be successful. Our quality technician, we brought up from the floor as well. Recently, we conducted training for all of our operators and our setup people here. We brought in a third party to do roll form training, a company called Roll Form Solutions, and in part through the benefit I'd add through TechCred was help underwrite that for us as well. So we're very committed to training our people, very committed to growing their capabilities here and giving them the opportunity to grow personally, professionally, financially. As Brian Shaner said, this is a place where people come and you can have a great career. You can be here a long time and you can raise your family and provide for your family and so forth. And that's what we intend to continue to promote here.
Okay. Of course, we spoke with Linda, but are there many women who work at the company?
There are. This is a guess on my part, Jeremy, but I would venture to say about probably within the office, I should say, there's probably 30%, or if not more, of women working in here. In production, probably maybe 10%, no more than 10%, although we're seeing those numbers grow. So, that is something that with the passage of time, we see increasing evidence of an interest in women coming into the workforce. In engineering, we have half of our engineers are women. And so, I would say that's another area. We have a relationship with Youngstown State University through their STEM program, and we've been very supportive of what they're doing over there and bringing their engineers over from Youngstown here, and they happen to be women. So we see it increasingly throughout the organization. Women make up a larger percentage of our workforce.
Okay. Are there any initiatives that Hynes is putting into place to continue diversifying its workforce in that manner?
I can't say that there are specific initiatives that we have underway. We're very fortunate in that we get a diverse group of people applying here. So there hasn't been any special effort, quite candidly, that we put forth to do that. But we have again, as I say, because we're recruiting through the Valley, we get a very diverse group of people.
Okay, very good. And your main location is Youngstown. Sticking around, what is it about Youngstown and the Youngstown workforce that has been allowing Hynes to grow over the years?
Yeah, well, by way of background, and I don't know if this was brought to the attention of everyone, but Hynes Industries will turn 100 years old in 4 years. So we've been here 96 years. I don't know how many businesses exist within the Valley that have been here 96 years, but I can remember it as a young boy myself. And so I think there's a certain, having grown up here, I'm terribly biased. Jeremy grew up here as well. I'm biased. Again, I left after high school and returned only 5 years ago. But this is a special community. I think that we've been through some challenging times, and the result of which is build a certain mentality of people from the Valley here, or a toughness, plus a close bond within the community. People want and cheer each other on and want each other, help each other be successful. And I think I see that throughout this community, and I see it here at Hynes Industries as well.
Very good. One of our participants has asked how they can get some manufacturing experience. I'm wondering, just kind of molding that question a little bit, are there opportunities maybe for job shadow experiences for younger people, or even just to come in and check things out? And then what about with some of the career and tech schools for maybe some of the younger students who might be looking to pursue manufacturing later on down the road? What kind of opportunities exist for them to maybe get some of the basic skills at the local career and tech schools?
Yeah, I would say, first off, as far as shadowing, we've not done that, but we would be more than happy to accommodate that. We recognize that, we certainly intend to be here another 100 years. And we understand that we are going through a transition now in which we need to, we've got people who are retiring, and we need to bring on the next generation of workers here. And we know that an important part of that is to participate in events like this, to, be able to be a resource to students who are contemplating their future and what they might want to do. So to the extent to which we can support that effort, we're going to do everything we can. I think that's my number one job as a CEO of this business, is to bring on the next generation of talent to run this business long after I'm gone. And the technical schools, certainly, I think it's very important. When I was young, the Mahoning Valley Joint Vocational School had just gotten started when I was in high school. Those are very important opportunities and institutions as well. So, as I mentioned before, we're connected strongly with YSU. We intend to do the same thing with the high schools as well as the technical schools. Again, it's vital to the future of this business.
Got it. And I guess the final question that I see from our group is whenever they're ready to start looking for a job, what is the process for applying? How can they come knock on your door and be part of Hynes' future?
I don't think anyone knocks on the door anymore. It doesn't seem. I think I would say that. It'd be like, that's how I found my jobs. I think today they're way more sophisticated and savvy than I was, and had tools available to them. I think that if you go to our website, not this isn't a pitch for Hynes, but why not? Go to our website and you'll see that we have online there positions that are open. You can apply online. We also, through our Paycom system that we utilize, we also connect to Indeed and different services such as that. So that's perhaps the best way. Or if you know of anybody that works currently at Hynes, let them know. Use whatever means available to you. We're here, and in last resort, feel free to come and knock on the door, because we'll certainly answer it.
Very good. Very good. Well, that seems to answer all the questions that were asked. Any final thoughts, Rick and Jeremy, on any parting advice to the young men and women watching today?
I guess parting advice for me would be to, be engaged in whatever you're doing. Be aware of things around you and stay positive. A positive attitude goes a long way.
Yeah, there's nothing I could add to that. I think Jeremy hit the nail on the head. Be positive. That's infectious. We're looking for that. We're looking for people with good attitudes, want to work hard, want to be successful, want to feel good about what they've accomplished each and every day.
True.
Outstanding. All right. Well, I think that does it for us. Wrapping things up a little bit earlier than we expected. That's always good. I want to thank Rick Organ and Jeremy Gurski for participating today. Gentlemen, it was great to see you again. Thank you so much again for hosting us and allowing us to walk around the shop and pester your workers and then put a camera in their face. It was definitely a cool experience for us. And of course, thank you to all the students for logging in today and paying attention, giving us your attention, giving us your time. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Hope you got all your questions answered. And be sure to check out tomorrow at noon. We will be taking a look at the healthcare careers, and we will be visiting the Hope Center for Cancer Care in Youngstown. But until then, Jeremy and Rick, thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks.
Take care.
Take care now.
Take care.
Brain Gain is sponsored by Southwoods Health, Farmers National Bank, Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC, and the Mahoning Valley Manufacturers Coalition.